hurt me anymore because I am strong. Here, let me help you, Mom. I repair things around your trailer, and I can overlook all your inadequacies, your criticisms, and your abusive words. I'll tell you, Mom, you really taught me some lesson, but I told you I am grown and now stand strong. My hands will take the jar from you, they will open it up, and when you need me, Mom, I'll be there. I'll always be there for you. I'll feed you, I'll change your linens, and I'll overlook everything offensive that you ever did to me. But most of all, I will hold your hands. The hands that once hurt and frightened me no longer have the power over how I see myself. And just like your hands, those old images have withered. And maybe, just maybe before you die, you'll see the woman that I have become. Oh, I hope so. Time is passing. We have already missed so much. I love you, Mom. Your daughter, Savannah.
After 30 years, how could you?
Divorce? 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 How could you? I cried last night. I cried until my eyes were red and my face was swollen. I cannot do this any longer. I am not your therapist, and I am not your marriage counselor. This is harder on me than anything else I can ever do. You have been together for 40 years. I can't deal with you and Daddy getting divorced now. Okay, what will you do? Where will he live? Where will we go on holidays, okay? My God. Oh my God, do you have someone else? Does Daddy? What are my friends gonna say? Damn it, Mama, why now after 40 years? I know. I grew up knowing all I wasn't supposed to know. I know that Daddy, he's not a good lover. I know that he never takes you anywhere. And I know he drinks way too much. But 40 years, Mama, 40 years, I can't cope. And I refuse to let you and Daddy stress me. No. So I'm walking away from this, okay? And when I see you again, I want to know how your day went. I want to know how he's treating you, not how he's mistreating you. I want to know how the sun shone your way today. I don't want to hear, he's not treating me well today. He doesn't love me anymore. I don't want to hear it. I want to be invisible in all this. I want to be a kid again, even though I'm an adult. I don't care. I just want to be your daughter again. So I'm leaving all this behind me. And when I come in the house tomorrow, Mommy, I want to see a smile on your face, okay? And I want to smell those biscuits. And I want to see you making my plates like you always do with all my favorites. I want my life back, Mommy. I don't care if it's fake or superficial. I just want to be your baby girl again. I love you, Mommy. Do you love me? Yes or no? Tammy.
Dear Mommy, yes, I know you're surprised. I'm kind of nervous too. It's the first letter I've ever written to you.
Mommy! Hello. How you doing? Isn't this great? This is the first letter that I ever write for you, and I'm so excited. I have so many things to tell you. Well, most of the things you already know because Mom has like special powers. They know everything. You don't even have to open your mouth. They're like little witches. I don't know. I love them. And then I don't think it's that hard to explain. I mean, we were together for 9 months. in your belly. The same person. You were my love, my home, my food. You were my air. I'm part of you. And you must be thinking why I feel so special about that. You already were a mom when you had me, but you know why I feel so special? Because I'm your only daughter. The princess of the house, the queen of papi, the one is gonna drive you crazy, give you lots of headaches, the one is gonna be papi's little girl, right? Hold on a minute. How many papis we have here tonight? Raise your hand. How many daddies? Lisa, we forgot about the puppies. Next week we gotta talk about them too. Don't you think? They're like jealous. Okay, I thought you thought that we were going to have that great relationship like in your belly, but we don't. I was growing up with stupid ideas. I wanna leave the house. Nobody likes me. Nobody understands me. You know how we are. What was I thinking? I have the great parents, the perfect home. Everybody was telling me how great my mother was, and I couldn't see it. And I think, if I only listened to her, my life would be so much easier and happier. We never listened to our moms. We will learn. And I know, 6 years ago, my dreams drove me far away from home. Well, flew me far away from home, from my culture, from my food, from you, Mom. But it's worth it. You'll be so proud if you only see me now. Oh, I'm so good, right? I'm good. I'm acting, I'm doing what I like. And you know what? You don't have to worry anymore. No. I'm an American citizen now. That's right, Mommy. I'm an American woman. And I'm blessed. I feel that I grew up so free, so happy. And you like telling everybody that I don't belong to you, that I belong to the world. Even you before me, you knew that I was going to do whatever I wanted in life. I was going to do anything I wanted. That's great. That's why when I think about my mom, when I think about you, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for feeding me. Thank you for hugging me, for teaching me, for making me smile. Thank you for loving me since day one when you didn't even know me. I mean, that's true love. I feel so lucky. And you know, you miss me, I miss you too, Mommy, but I'm going to see you soon, okay? Besos. I love you, my princess. Take care. Bye.
Let's give him a great. We know our relationships with our parents, they're timeless, they're dynamic, they're sometimes sad, they're sometimes angry. And as a matter of fact, a funny story to tell you is that after I wrote this book, after it came into market, my mother and I, we are very close, but we were going to LA and we were traveling. It was the first time I've ever traveled with my mother, believe it or not. So my mother's always with my father. They always traveled together. But this particular time, I was very much looking forward to traveling with her. When we get on the plane, I had this fantasy of how well we were going to get along. And we're on the plane, we're sitting together, and she starts complaining about everybody talking. And I said to my mother, I said, Mom, you know what? You really need to sit in first class. But that didn't happen. So it was the typical, we have the typical mother-daughter relationship. And we traveled to LA to see my sister, to go to her shower, her wedding shower. And we're staying together, and in the middle of the night I'm sleeping and she turns the light on because she couldn't sleep. So then we get this little bit of an argument, and by the end of the trip we weren't talking to each other again. And we get on the plane and we get into Atlanta, and wouldn't you know it, the plane got delayed and one plane got canceled. So by the time we get back to Miami, she was sitting in one seat and I was sitting all the way in the back in the other seat. So we're walking down the aisle and she's walking ahead of me. She's very feisty, and she said, "You're a good daughter afar, but not near." And then she goes and gets her baggage. She won't even look at me, and she takes a cab all the way from Miami to Boca. Wow. But just to tell you, it is a funny story, and no matter what, my mother and I will be really close. And some of us are close with our mothers, and some of us aren't, and some of us are in between. But the next day, I sent her flowers, and I said, even though, Mom, we disagree, I still love you. And that was the whole point, is that I knew that there'd be another, maybe, I didn't want to have any regrets. I wanted to say what I needed to say. And that's how it goes with mothers and daughters, and sons and mothers, and sons and fathers. And now I just want to say thank you to Stuart Solomon for putting this work in progress on. I think that it really has a lot of potential, and I'm really excited about where we can see this go. Thank you.
Questions, some of you can stay if you can't. We understand that also, but we'd love for you to ask questions of the company, myself, Lisa. Would you like to do that?
Okay.
Sure.
Question, can I go to the center for the
Everett
camera?
has a question? Yeah, we're trying to go to center.
For the
Who
answers.
answers the question, you mean?
The answers.
Who answers the question? Okay. Are there any questions for us? No, what you saw? Yes.
Are they all professional?
No, actually, most of the students, this is their first time ever on stage.
Wow.
Well, I would say- We're a school, so what we try to do is, give students an opportunity. So yeah, I think they did a pretty good job. Yeah. Any other questions? It was self-explanatory. Is that it? You got it, huh? Well, I'm not going to. Yes.
When you're acting, do you relate to your parents at all? Yes.
Definitely.
Does it ring a bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you act that much better?
Not in mine. Not in mine.
No.
I don't think so.
I actually wrote my own letter, so it's all true what I say about my mom.
My mother passed away in July, so I was definitely connecting with her.
It was very cathartic. I mean, the first couple of rehearsals were very, kind of teary, because it just kicks off, some of the emotions. It's very interesting to watch. And of course, tonight I sat back there for the first time and just let it rip and cried for the whole thing. I had to be the strong one for you guys. But tonight I was actually touched by it. It connects something in the heart. It really does. It's a universal subject.
And I'll just add to that, to what Gabriella said. My letter that I did was also my own. I wrote that. That was
That's true what happened. I wasn't going to say it. I mean, he had the option to say that or not. But yeah, that's all true what happened to him. Any other questions?
You gonna take it on the road?
We're going to develop it more. I want to put the scenes in. I want to start to put dramatizations in. There's other transitional elements that we didn't put in. There's just so much to do. I just wanted to hear how the text sounds coming out of the book, and I think it's very literate. It's kind of beautiful, isn't it? Some of it's very poetic. Some of it's extremely poetic. The whole book is there. I think you can buy a copy if you want to read the whole book. It's really quite wonderful. It's beautiful, and how you read it is very different than how all of a sudden you see it, because I was pulling dramatic situations that perhaps did not exist in the book. So we had to dramatize it to bring it to life a little bit more for you. But it was interesting to watch your faces. Very interesting indeed. Who else? Anybody? Yes.
Did you have any interaction at all with any of the people that actually wrote the letters?
Yes.
Was there an exchange?
Yeah, I did, as a matter of fact, a couple short stories. One man was found me on the internet. He was looking for his daughter, and he hadn't spoken to her in 20 years. And she had left home, never to come back, and her mother had passed away. And so he was looking for her to tell her that her mother had passed away. And yet they weren't talking, so I had to be a mediator. I chose to be a mediator, and I have all their information, but I cannot give it out to anybody. It's very private. I mean, this is their heart and soul. Some of them or anonymous. This particular woman, I did get in touch with her, and I told her that her father was looking for her, and she thanked me for not telling him where she was, and that I told her that her mother had passed away. And so I told her that she should write another letter to her mother now that she had passed away. Maybe she could have more peace within her heart. And so I was going back and forth with the father and the daughter, although they weren't talking to each other. So I felt good because I was able to get in touch with her. She decided to have a memorial for her mother every year. And they're still estranged. He had actually called me month after month for about 5 months and really wanted to find out where she was for his own reasons. And I just told him, I feel for him, but I just can't give out that information, and that I wished him the best of luck. I have been in touch with about 10 or 12 of the women. Some of the women just wanted to write and give their letter and submit it, and some of them were out of the country. There's a couple Indian women that I've been emailing. One of the women that's in prison, that Kevin read her letter. She's very interesting. She's 25 now, and she's been in prison since she's been 14. And she's actually a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful girl. Her mother sent me a picture of both of them together, and their relationship since has mended. She just, she got in trouble when she was younger, and unfortunately, not a good situation, and she has 25 more years in prison. We are corresponding. I'm hoping to meet her one day. She just wrote me another letter. She did not commit murder, but she was at the scene that a murder took place. And so what the best part about all of this, of the project, is, like I said, it's given people an outlet to express themselves. And so Danielle, the woman in prison, is very much at peace with herself, and a very, very proud young woman. And so, those are just some of the stories, but really they're all over. And I did do a survey of the women in the book. I got over 1,500 letters, and I had to hone it down, of course, for the book and make it interesting. So I didn't want to do a how-to book on how to be have a better relationship, because I felt that was already done, and I wanted to kind of bring out a different aspect in the book, which was about liberation within yourself, because we all know we have challenges with our parents, or we don't. Whatever it is, there's always certain situations, and it's really ourselves that we need to liberate ourselves. So that was really about the whole process. And I really, the book kind of brings that out, brings the daughters and the mothers out. And some of them do have good relationships and some of them don't. But I think it's unrealistic to say that every daughter has a great relationship with their mother, because that's not so, and sometimes that's not realistic. So, but you can have peace. So I think that was the biggest message. But yeah, there's a lot of women that have corresponded with me, and those are just some of the few stories. Thank you.
I'm curious to know, what is your educational background? Are you a psychologist?
No, I'm not. No, I'm
You're just a writer?
no. That writer would be a great thing, wouldn't it? I think to be a published author is quite an accomplishment. I'm very proud of myself. But as far as that, no, I've been in the corporate background for 15 years, working for very large companies in the food service industry. And I left my job in March to pursue my project. And I do have a psychotherapist on board, but I'm not one. I have a master's in organizational design and effectiveness.
Wow.
So, yeah, and I've always, really my passion is, I'm very passionate about helping people express themselves in a safe way. I have been since I've been a little girl. And I love the different forms of communication. I love how people express themselves. So that's why I started this project to begin with, was because of that reason. It's a beginning for people, to open their heart. And I think that's important, now versus later, because no matter what kind of background we come from, we can never escape the matters of the heart. They either come to us now or later we have to deal with them. So I feel that the message is very important to do it now. And now is whenever now is. So, thank you.
Anybody?
No, it's not a question. It's a homework for everybody. You should go home tonight, not tonight or tomorrow, and try to write a letter for your mothers to see how you feel about it. I felt good. Everybody did it.
Yeah, actually, I made them do that in the beginning, just so they got a feel of what it was like. They all had to
Yeah. Then you don't want to stop. You want to just keep writing.
Anybody else? No? Well, again, I'd like to thank you for attending. This is a work in progress. As I said, another version of it, we're going to go into rehearsal for 2 weeks, and like I said, start to add some dramatization. And it's going to take a while to really get into a scripted form that we want, but we're going to start the scripted form, as I said, in 2 weeks. So it'll evolve. Stay in touch. I think most of you are on the email list. Are you not? Yeah, if not, leave me your email address before you go and you'll be kept abreast of everything. But I do want to thank you for attending, and I do want to thank the company. You did a bang out job. And everybody drive safely. Okay.
Thank you.
And also again to Lisa. I'm sorry, Lisa, I forgot to thank you again. Okay.
My name is Lynn Snyder, and I just want to say that I was mesmerized by this entire project. I think it's absolutely wonderful, and it makes you think about your mom and what she means to you. I lost my mom when I was 4 years old, and I would give anything in the world to have had her back now to see what my life has been. It was a wonderful project, and I was just mesmerized by the entire show, and I think it's just wonderful.
I thought the performers really captured the essence of all the letters that they were relaying to the audience. And I feel that I can see some wonderful things happening and growing in this production. I see little vignettes of people expressing themselves in different ways and going through all the different letters and emotions. And I think that's one of the nice things about the workshop itself. All the letters express different emotions. We had people who were sad, people who were angry, people who were satisfied in their relationships with their mothers. And you saw people from all different walks of life in the way that they were portrayed. And I think that one of the nicest things about it is everybody in the audience seemed to identify not just with something that perhaps touched them personally, but with how everybody else expressed their feelings and their desires and their hopes and their wishes with their mother and how they feel. And I think that the whole concept of what is being done is unique and different, and I think that there's a lot of promise, and I wish you all good luck.
Okay. Oh, thanks. Hi. I read Dear Mom, and I was really so engaged by how the actors really took a part of every letter that they represented. They really took on that story and just acted it out beautifully. And the emotions that were felt within myself from each letter that was acted was really amazing, especially have read and familiar with the stories. And I was very patient and listening and comforted by the way it was delivered. And it brought up a lot of my own emotions. And I love that it was a lot of forgiveness. Each piece had a forgiveness and an acknowledgement of the mom. And I was just very, very proud of the project here tonight, and I had no expectations, but definitely very familiar with the stories, and I was really happy the way it unfolded for the company here. Stuart Solomon and his company did a fabulous job, so I'm really glad I could be a part of it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Kate Potter, and I've been working on this project with Lisa for 4 years now. And I've been working as a psychotherapist and a life coach, working through the project since the beginning days when we started shifting through the letters to see which letters would be in the book. So tonight has been an amazing experience for me to really see how the letters have come to life from women from all over the world on pieces of paper to real live conversations. And these actors did such a fabulous job, you could actually hear the information coming from their hearts. It was an amazing process.
All right. Well, I saw this from the first night that they had their rehearsals and were reading them cold, reading their speeches cold from the book, and seeing the metamorphosis that this has gone through is just incredible to me. It was so different than reading the letters just on the cold page of the book to see them perform the way they did. You could feel the emotions. The actors were incredible, and it just brought to life so many different feelings in all the members of the audience. You could see it in their faces, how touched and moved they were by the actors and their performances. I was particularly impressed with the actors that wrote their own letters as well. And I think that the exercise that they did of writing their own letters gave them a lot more feeling about how the authors of each letter were actually feeling when they wrote their letters. I think it was a great experience, and I think the audience really enjoyed it and gained a lot from it.
Sure. What I want to know is what feelings did this kick up for you as you were doing as you were doing, the piece? It kicked up a lot of stuff in the initial rehearsals, I remember. Right. How did that evolve as you went into the show more and more? Tony, you want to answer that?
Sure. Well, the first thing I want to say about my experience in the show is really to thank everybody, because I think the energy that was created amongst all of us was amazing, and it allowed us to really get to a point that we can express ourselves and really feel some safety in that. For me personally, it was probably the biggest door I can walk through in my life, in that it was my acting debut, which is something I've always wanted to do, as well as dealing with a very, very sensitive subject, which is the relationship with my parents, and specifically my mother. As you probably know, the letter that I performed was a letter that I wrote and was my own life experience. So just the ability to walk through that tremendous door that was in front of me this evening, and the ability of everyone around me to help me get through that, I thought was just absolutely amazing, and I thank everybody for that.
Did you pick out the letters and then they didn't?
No,
You only gave them the certain ones to pick from, or they didn't get to pick it all?
Okay.
Maybe you should walk through that process.
Yeah, how...
I'll just tell the process, because that's, yeah.
Whenever he's ready, he'll tell me. There was a process in how we selected the letters. What we did was we had, of course, the students read the book first. Then we had them come in and pick one letter that they thought that they might like to do. Based on the dramatic content of it, I either said yes or no, or picked a different one if I didn't like their letters. Some of them I just threw out, maybe on the third week of rehearsal. A couple students we had write their own, because it was the only way it was going to possibly work. We took Kevin's letter, which was written by a woman, and just kind of reworked it a little bit so that it was for him. I kind of had final say on what was going to go in and what was not. There was a few more people in the company that couldn't stay with the show, which have given it maybe a little bit more humor, which I would like to see added. But I kind of picked the letters so that it would kind of have a flow through it, with Lisa's approval, of course.
That leaves me with a question for Kevin. Your experience as knowing it was a woman that wrote the letter and what you brought to life was from a male point of view.
Try to rephrase the question, Mr. Witzel.
Well, my experience from that letter, written by a woman, well, Lisa, she showed us on the internet the young lady who actually wrote the letter. I mean, when I saw her, she was like